My teenager has been sneaking out at 2 a.m. every night, and I just found out where she's been going. A few weeks ago, I started finding my daughter's window unlocked every morning. The pillows stuffed under her blanket weren't fooling anyone, and the dark circles under her eyes had gotten so bad that everyone was asking if she was sick. So I sat her down at the kitchen table and asked her what was going on. She stirred her cereal without looking up and mumbled, "Nothing, Mom. I'm just stressed about school." I asked her point blank if she was sneaking out at night, and she looked me dead in the eyes and said no. That lie hit me like a punch to the chest. My sweet girl who used to tell me everything was now sitting across from me and lying to my face. I started checking the phone bill and saw the same number texting her at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., sometimes 4 a.m. every single night. Her grades went from A's to D's in less than a month, and her teachers started sending emails asking if there was a crisis at home. I tried confronting her again, and she exploded. "Why can't you just trust me?" she screamed. I grabbed her arm. "Because you're lying to me and we both know it." She ripped away from me and went to her room. I stood in the hallway and heard her sobbing on the other side, but she wouldn't let me in. I couldn't sleep anymore because I started imagining some older guy convincing her to sneak out, getting her hooked on something, and ruining her life before it even started. I pictured her dead in a ditch somewhere, and I couldn't breathe. One night I decided I couldn't survive another night of not knowing. I told her I was going to bed, kissed her forehead while she stared at her phone, then went outside and got in my car. I drove down the street and sat with the lights off and my hands shaking on the steering wheel. Just after 2 a.m., I saw her bedroom window open, and I watched my daughter drop to the ground and start walking toward the park. I followed at a distance with my headlights off and my heart slamming against my ribs so hard it hurt. When she got to the park, someone was already sitting on a bench near the playground. I pulled over across the street and squinted through the darkness, trying to make out who it was. My daughter walked up and sat down, and the other person immediately collapsed into her arms, sobbing so hard their whole body convulsed. I recognized the hair first, then the jacket. It was Heidi, her best friend since kindergarten, the same girl who used to have sleepovers at our house every weekend and call me her second mom. I watched my daughter hold her and rock her back and forth, stroking her hair and whispering things I couldn't hear. At one point, Heidi pulled back and showed my daughter something on her forearm, and my daughter started crying too. They held each other for almost 2 hours while I sat in my car with tears pouring down my face, realizing I had been so sure she was destroying herself when really she had been holding someone else together. Around 4 a.m., Heidi finally stood up and they hugged for a long time before walking in opposite directions. I followed my daughter home at a distance, watching her small frame move through the empty streets, my headlights still off. She climbed through her window, and I sat in the driveway until the sun came up trying to decide what to do. At breakfast, I told her I followed her last night and the color drained from her face. "Please don't be mad at her, Mom. You can't tell anyone." The whole story came pouring out between sobs. Heidi's parents were going through a brutal divorce and telling her it was all her fault. 3 weeks ago, Heidi called my daughter at 2 a.m. and said she had a plan to end things, and she needed my daughter to talk her out of it. She made her swear not to tell a single adult or she would do it that night. My daughter wiped her face and said, "She calls me every night when it gets too dark in her head, and I go sit with her because I'm terrified if I don't answer, she won't make it to morning." I pulled her into my arms and told her we were going to get Heidi real help together.